Hello guys, welcome to today's class. So in today's class we're going to be making ruffle headband. So the measurement we'll be using is a width of 10 inches, and then the length of the material we're going to be using is 45 inches. So this particular material I'm using is called a dull face. So you can use a dull face, or a shiny face can also work. So you look for a material that can ruffle and at the same time stand. Next thing we do is to fold it lengthwise towards the wrong side of the fabric. So this is how we're going to be folding it. The part you're seeing is the wrong side of the fabric, and the side that is inside is the right side of the fabric. So we're going to run our stitch. Heading to the sewing machine, we're going to run our stitch from the top to the bottom by the side. That way we'll be able to turn it over or flip it over later on. So this is running it to the end of the length of this doll face material. So the next thing you're going to do now is to find a piece of long material of the same type. If you want maybe another material, but just find a piece of long material that you can put on the inside. Now how I'm going to do it is put it at the edge of this material that I sewed, and then I'm going to close it and then run a top stitch on it just at the edge of the long material we have. Now you have your material that you want to form the ruffle with. Attached to it is that long piece of material as well. So now you keep the long piece of material aside, and then from the edge you're going to be turning it inside out. Now mind you, as you're turning it inside out, do not lose the piece of material you attach to it. The aim is for you to use that piece of material to be able to drag it. So as you're turning it, be very careful so you do not lose that piece of material. Now I'm done turning it, and what I'm doing is holding that piece of material and then forming my ruffle, like scrunching it up a little bit. As you're watching, you understand what I mean. So this is me holding that material. I'm trying not to lose it, and then I'm scrunching it up. Now remember that after turning it, you're having the right side. Now this is the right side of the fabric. So you're just going to pull and then ruffle it up. As you're pulling it, it's actually ruffling. Then at the edge of the other side of the fabric, I'm folding it inside. This is how I'm just folding it inside, and as I'm folding, I'm also pulling it because I want a particular length of this ruffle. Anyway, and once you're done pulling it, what you're going to do is to stitch it with your sewing machine. The length of the ruffle depends on the length of the Alice band you have. You can still go ahead and measure it with your Alice band the way you want it to sit on the Alice band. So once I'm done stitching, I'm cutting off the excess piece of cloth and I'm setting it aside. You can also keep it. That's what you can use to cover your Alice band as well. So I'm just ruffling it up and keeping it to the way I want. So this is it, and I'm keeping it aside. Next thing is to bring my Alice band. Now you remember that piece of cloth that we had? Yes, you can use it to measure out the length of your Alice band, to cover the Alice band. So this is how you measure. Exactly, this is how you measure the piece of cloth you need to cover the Alice band. Next, we'll also be working with our black bias. You can also work with the same color of material you're using. If you don't have it, like maybe per se like green, if you don't have the same color, you can work with black. Black is a general color. Now on the Alice band, I'm adding a little bit of hot glue on the Alice band. Now with the wrong side of that fabric, glue the wrong side of the fabric on the Alice band such that the part facing upwards, outward, will be the right side of that fabric. So what I'm basically doing is apply glue on the Alice band and then use the material to cover the Alice band. What we are trying to achieve is so that we cover this Alice band with the same color of fabric that we are using. That's just basically it. So apply glue and cover with the material. Now once you're done covering with the material, the next thing you're going to do is cut off the excess materials as such that this part will now cover the inner part of your Alice band. So I'm cutting off excess material so that when I fold it, I won't have excess materials like forming ruffles on the inside, making it look tacky. So you just neatly cut off the excess, neatly cut off the excess, and that will be able to help you give you that clean inner part of this Alice band. So I'm sorry, I don't know, I didn't film it, I didn't even know it was filming. So all I basically did was use that same glue and glue the inside to cover the inside. That's just what I basically did. I'm really sorry, I didn't know it wasn't filming. So this is a closer view of what I did to cover the inside as well. Now we're not going to leave it like this because it's not looking so clean. Like I said, this is handmade and we are aiming towards perfection. That's where the use of the bias comes in. So what we are going to be basically doing with the bias is to cover that inner part of our Alice band. Apply a little amount of the hot glue on the Alice band, and then you gently place it on the inner part of that Alice band. What you're doing is to cover that opening, to cover that inner part of the Alice band so that it will look neat. Now this is one way of covering your Alice band. There is another method, another way of covering your Alice band. So basically this is me covering the Alice band, and it's going to look neat. Now once you're done and you've reached the edge, you can go ahead and cut off the excess bias remaining. Make sure it's properly glued down. And now you just make sure you properly glue everything down. Glue it to perfection or almost near to perfection. And now if you watch the tip of our Alice band, it's not going to look like that. That one too is looking a little bit rough. So you still get another piece of your bias, cut it to the actual length that you'll be okay working with. Open it up, add a little bit of glue, and then fix it in such that it's going to cover the edge of, or the tip of the feet of that Alice band. Now the next thing to do is add a little bit of the glue on the left hand side and also on the right hand side, and then with your hands you close them up. Now that's perfection. So it's looking neat, it's looking way better. So whatever you did on the right feet, you do it also on the left feet, vice versa. So I'm just repeating the same thing I did on the other side. Alright, so now this is what you want your Alice band to be looking like. That's basically it. The final step of this video is to put our ruffle on the Alice band, and this is how you place it. You see that part, the edge of the material that we stitched, you try as much as possible to put it on the inside so that it won't show, the area won't show. So you just put a little bit of glue on the Alice band and then use it to cover that stitched area on the left hand side. You also repeat it for the right hand side. So I'm trying to find that stitched area so it will be on the inside. Apply your glue, then cover up that stitched area just like that. Give it a press hold. Remember, when you're working with a hot glue, give it a press hold for about 5 to 10 seconds. Now next thing you do is to arrange your ruffles the way you want it to sit. So after arranging it the way you want it to slit, you see that opening there, you're also going to apply hot glue there. Apply your hot glue on it, a generous amount of hot glue. Remember, do not over apply. This hot glue, if you don't handle it well, it will be bringing out white substance. You don't want that, so you just be very careful. Apply the one that can carry it, and then gently press and hold. Press and hold. Now that's just the end of it. This is the outcome of the headband. Bye.